Señor Presidente, Visita de Pastrana, el Comité de Washington, D.C. de la...
Antes que todo, agradecerle al señor secretario general de la Organización de Estados Americanos, el señor Gaviria, la hospitalidad que nos brindan en esta tarde. Decía en la mañana de hoy, cuando salíamos de Bogotá, que cuando se nos hacía una pregunta que qué importancia tenía la visita que realizábamos a partir de hoy para la visita de Estado a los Estados Unidos. Yo les decía a los colegas periodistas de Colombia que un presidente que regrese después de 29 años no existía una visita de Estado a los Estados Unidos.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and Mrs. Clinton.
behalf of the Administrative Board.
Deve poter livremente sposare con sua famiglia, portando con limitazione para visitare la ragazza una delle libertà, consegnare su obbligazioni per la causa pacifista. In questo programma, la Visita de Estado
So we are now
è possibile che la nazione sovrana tenga la sua decisione.
The environment has, in some contexts, been a divisive issue in the past, but we're finding that if it's approached in the right way.
Since 5 years ago, we started
Morning at 9:30 every Thursday morning.
We are honored to have members of Congress here today, including Congressman Esteban Torres and Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, and Representative Carlos Romero Barcelo, and we're especially pleased as well to have the distinguished Secretary General of the Organization of American States and one of your predecessors, Mr. President, Cesar Gaviria Trujillo. As a personal friend, I would also like to acknowledge former White House Chief of Staff. El cambio comienza hoy. I ask you to join me in toast.
Please be seated.
I think on the enhanced engagement, the whole concept of it, I think we have great opportunities. As I said to you, I think, is this just us?
Freeze and freeze.
global drug production analysis section. I'd ask her to give you a quick overview. I'm going to ask Mr. Tom Constantine to make some remarks. He is, as you know, in charge of 9,000 worldwide deployed DEA officers, supporting them and what we should do to support your efforts. Make a couple of brief points. One of them, you must understand our collective respect, but my personal one is I was privileged to go talk to the wounded in your the eulogy to some of your police officers who were killed in action. I started my own.
Be in the newspaper at the pool, supposedly USA Today.
Wait, you got fired.
You all right?
Yeah. That old camping trail.
The one he had here.
No, I went to one of our, no, we went down to the river.
It's embarrassing the way
I'd like to see you do the trip.
Counselor, sounds like you're making a pretty good
I didn't look at the monitor. I can hear everything really clearly.
Been to
Salsa? What is that, a group or?
practice. It's a dance place.
The Dallas.
You tickler, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. and Mrs. John.
You are right.
Ms. Veronica Laskin and Mr. Mark Anthony. Mr. and Mrs. Robert Smith. The Mayor of the District of Columbia and Mrs. Mary Barry. Ms. Marcela Sanchez and Mr. Philip Butler. Okay, bye.
Please, you're invited.
Mr. Emilio Mr. Jeff Valdez and Mr. Valdelpo. Thank you, Laura. Mr. Carlos Grillenborg and Ms. Viola Boston. The Honorable and Mrs. Thomas McNamara.
I've never seen the program about it.
Mr. Ruben Velez.
I know that.
Mrs. Fernando Otero. Ms. Maria Alvarez and Mr. Dennis Rivera.
Today, President Pastrana and I worked hard to advance the partnership between Colombia and the United States. Tonight, we celebrate our friendship among friends. It is a long friendship indeed, going back to our struggles for independence, including, as President Pastrana discussed today, an alliance in war as well as peace. After all these years, the United States remains captivated by Colombia, by the power of Colombian art, the force of Colombian literature, and I might add, the strength of Colombian coffee. Indeed, if ever a prize is given to any of the people who negotiated the peace treaty at Y, something will have to be given to Colombia, for without the coffee, it would not have occurred. The United States is grateful for the many contributions Colombians make to our national life, the students, teachers, athletes, and every occupation between. Mr. President, your election this summer marks the beginning of a new era in your country's history and in our long relationship. Bravely, you have placed Colombia on the path to peace. You have taken hard steps toward renewed prosperity. We look forward to walking with you into the 21st century. We still have much to learn from and to give to each other. We live in a hemisphere on a planet growing ever smaller. In our independence, every day we grow more interdependent. If we would be strong, we must lift others. If we would fulfill our own promise, we must help others live their dreams. We must, in short, go forward together. In the last phrase of what has famously become known in the United States as my favorite novel, 100 Years of Solitude, our guest and friend tonight, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, says, races condemned to 100 years of solitude did not have a second opportunity on earth.
President, Ms. Clinton, Madam Secretary of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Colombia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Nora. Thank you, Mr. President and Mrs. Clinton, for the warmth of the welcome you have extended to Nora and me and the members of our delegation. Mrs. Clinton, you are an inspiration to women here and everywhere. Nora said she felt she knew you before she met you, and I think there are many others who share that feeling. You are the First Lady of the world. Nora's meeting with you Nora's meeting with you have been as productive as my meeting with the President. She will return home more committed than ever to her own work to combat child abuse and bring health care to poor and rural Colombians. I know Nora will succeed as you have, because she too is a woman of great grace and great determination. I know this is a formal occasion, and I know the diplomats think I should say that we have productive meetings. Well, we did. We did have productive meetings. And the truth is, Mr. President, and I had a great time. I thought about why, and I decided that maybe it's because we're both from the South. Me from South America, and President Clinton from Arkansas. And of course, we were both elected president at the age of 44. Now, Mr. President, you have been in office for nearly 7 years. I have been president for less than 3 months. But in our discussions on this trip and earlier, I find a common spirit and a common cause. I believe that even seemingly intractable problems can be solved by the strength and courage. I resolve to build a new global economy where the powerful are just and prosperity shared, where all can use open markets to advance together while none are left behind. Together, in our meetings here, we have made progress and we have reaffirmed our great goal, a hemisphere which is both drug-free and poverty-free. This is a critical time for Colombia, for the United States, and for the world economy. And I must tell you, Mr. President, that my country and others everywhere have the highest respect and the highest hopes for your leadership. We are fortunate that in you, the man matches the moment. At a global economic turning point, the world needs your nation. And Mr. President, we need your vision and strength now more than ever.